Malibu resident. I'm also a PhD scientist with a master's degree from the School of Public Health. And I hope by now that we've moved beyond the need for me to delineate that PCBs are persistent organic pollutants with membership in the dirty dozen listing of environmental toxins. But I am happy to do so at another time. What I'd like to spend my time on tonight is the need for our laws to evolve alongside scientific data and the views of our society in making informed decisions. And let me do so initially by way of analogy of what would happen if I were to light a cigarette right here, right now. By today's standards, I'd be asked to put it out, and if not, it's likely that I would rightfully so be asked to leave or be escorted from the building. Now, of course, it wasn't always like this, and the evolution of our current standards began in 1964, when the Surgeon General declared that inhalation of cigarette smoke was a causal agent for development of lung cancer. This was done at a time when the majority of Americans did not feel there was any link between exposure to cigarette smoke and any ill health effect. Now, fast forwarding today, after some 40-odd years of accumulating knowledge and education, what we would not do if I were to light up right here and right now is to propose to monitor the air for threshold levels of toxicants, or to allow me to argue that even secondhand exposure to my cigarette smoke is harmless. This is because we all realize and align on the need to avoid inhalation of toxicants over the course of hours, days, and years, because this low level of chronic exposure is what we now know to represent danger. In contrast, the laws surrounding environmental PCB exposure are inconsistent and fragmented. If I were to spill even a small amount of electrical insulating fluid that contained PCBs on this floor, you'd be required to report and clean it up immediately. But if this room contained coffee with almost as much PCB content as the fluid spill that I bring forward as an example, we find ourselves debating on whether it should even be tested, let alone be cleaned in an appropriate way. So I ask all of you, have our views and laws been calibrated to our current knowledge of the risks of PCBs and the gaseous exchange that we now know occurs from caulk? Are some exploiting outdated and imprecise laws to hold an evasive position on the issue of testing and removal? Please consider my thoughts when exercising your role as our public representatives. I'm confident that we will give this appropriate thought in the spirit of calibrating the intent of the law with its practice and vote to do the right thing. Thank you.